What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. If you're somewhat into farming or you just want to watch a kid get some stuff done around the farm, you're in the right place. All I ask for you guys to do is, if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out and push my content further for more farmers and people like you to see it. It really means a lot to me. Thanks, guys. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much again for tuning in today's video. Today we are going to be doing a lot of maintenance work around our hog operation. Not only is it important to keep the pigs healthy, because that's our #1 priority with these buildings, but it's also very, very important that we keep these buildings in tip-top shape, because we want to get a lot of years out of these buildings. You know, we made the investment to do so. You know, these buildings, they tend to last very long. I know a lot of growers, I know a lot of people that have had buildings for years and years and years. And if you just continue to take good care of them, they will give you a really great return. But if you treat your buildings like crap and you just use it as a money pit and you don't really take care of it and you don't take pride in anything, then they won't last as long. It's very, very important that we keep these buildings in great shape. So today, my dad and I are gonna go through here and we're gonna fix the things that need to be fixed. So the stuff that we gotta fix or replace today are, we gotta replace some fan motors. We got to grease the curtain machines. We have to replace some nipples that are bad. Those nipples that we got, they tend to leak after a while because the nipple on them just gets bad, so we're gonna replace those. Oh, and also we need to fix some cables on our air inlets. And I know to some of you, I might have just spoke some gibberish, some language that you don't really know, but we're gonna explain everything about what we're fixing, what we're replacing. We'll explain why it went bad, what it is, what's its purpose. All that stuff you're gonna figure out and you're gonna find out in this video. So starting with #1, we're gonna head over into our north barn and we're gonna replace a nipple on one of our cups that's leaking.
Okay, we're gonna change some water nipples. This barn is 6 years old, I think, and we're starting to get some of the nipples that are starting to leak. So the cups run over and you're wasting water, and we don't want to do that. So we're gonna replace them.
I was probably wondering why I have a bucket in my hand. Well, I have a bucket in my hand because the tools I'm gonna use are in here, and if you don't have this, very likely that you might drop something into the pit, and that's no good because my dad will get mad at me and we'll lose the tool. So it's very smart to always have a bucket, that way none of your stuff falls through the slats.
So this is a lot easier to do when the barn's empty, but it doesn't always work. The nipples don't always start leaking when the barn's empty, and this one didn't. So they're kind of a bear to do. The first thing you got to do is you got to clamp on a pair of vice grips. When I try to unscrew that nipple, it's going to want to turn this pipe. And so I got my handy dandy vice grips, and I just got these brand new Milwaukee's, and I really like them because they got this fat screw. Regular vice grips have a smaller knob, and if your hands are wet, it's hard to get a hold of, but these are really nice, so I hope they work out good. But you want to lock that on so that when I'm turning, this hits and it keeps this pipe from turning, and I don't bend these brackets because they're made just strong enough, but not too strong, and if you tweak them, you'll break them. So, and then this is just a 7/8 wrench. These are actually metric, but I don't have metric wrenches. It's un-American, so I use a 7/8 inch wrench. And it's long, but you need it for the leverage. I'll show you, when I get this out, I'll show you what the old nipple looks like versus the new one. There's a reason why we don't just replace the nipples that are in here, or fix them. We replace them, we put a completely different nipple in there, and I'll tell you why we do that in a minute. So that is what cheap nipples look like. This nipple came with this cup, and when you buy a building, you buy a cup, and these cup companies, everything's competitive, so they want to use the cheapest nipple they can and yet have them perform. Well, the only good hog nipple is an Edstrom nipple because it doesn't have a bunch of mechanical parts and they're well made. So what happened here is these all have a screen in them, and all you can see is just a little bit of that screen left. Well, these screens are cheap, and I don't know if they're made out of 400 series stainless or whether it's poor quality, but the rust and the calcium in the water, they eat the screen out, and then they go down inside of this bushing and they get down in here, and it doesn't seal, and then the nipple leaks. So we're going to replace these. As these go bad, we replace them. We don't put the same nipple back in that came with them because these are junk. So this is an Edstrom nipple, and this, I don't know what this is. I don't know what the number is. They don't even put their name on it because they don't want their name on it. So this is probably a $3 nipple, and this is a $6 nipple. And the difference in them is this does not have a screen in it. There's no parts really in it that can go bad. The only thing that'll go bad in these is down inside of it, and I can't get it apart because my fingers are wet. There's a rubber disc, and that disc over time will stretch a little bit to where it doesn't shut off. But if that happens, you just spin this out, put a new rubber disc in it, and put it back together. So this is a lifetime deal. As long as you want to fix them, they'll last you a lifetime. This is good till it goes bad, and then you take it and you chuck it because it's not worth anything.
So now that we got the nipple replaced, we're gonna head into our workroom and outside, and we're gonna fix some fan motors.
This is our handy dandy evolution control. This is the brain box that keeps our pigs warm, keeps them cool, make sure they got enough air, make sure the feed runs on time, opens the curtains, closes the curtains. Basically, it does everything to make sure everybody stays happy and healthy. And today we got a problem because this fan right here, normally when this light comes on, there's a fan outside that starts running to move more air. Well, when I flip the switch, it should run. But today, when I flip the switch, it doesn't run. So we got to figure out what's wrong with that fan. We think it's the motor, but we don't know for sure. So we're going to dig into it and get it running.
So what's up with this whole deal?
Well, the motor's definitely shot. You can hear it grinding, and I thought I was going to be able to get it off, so I can move we heated the hub up because this is aluminum. The shaft obviously is steel, so if we heat it up, the aluminum expands faster. So in a perfect world, if you did that, it breaks the rust loose off the shaft and makes the hole just enough bigger than the shaft that you can slide it off there. But the end of our shaft is bummed up a little bit, probably from me beating on it. And so I can't get it off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it down to the shop, and I think all I need to do is take the grinder and just touch up the edge of that shaft, and I think it'll come right off. And then we'll throw this in the junk heap, and we'll bring the blade up, we'll put it on the new motor, put it back in, wire it up. We should be in good shape.
Back to the grind. Success!
Success!
It's really, really nice to have my dad that knows how to do all this stuff, because I've talked about this earlier in previous videos, but my dad worked on building hog buildings, fixing hog buildings, selling hog buildings, so he knows a crap ton of stuff on hog buildings and stuff, and he knows how to fix pretty much everything. So I know in those time lapses I kind of looked like I was clueless, and it was because I pretty much was. I've never fixed a pit fan in my life, and he's fixed a crap ton of them. So it's really nice because otherwise, if I didn't have my dad that knew how to do that stuff, if I didn't know how to do that and my dad didn't know how to do that, we would have to hire a company to come over here, and they'd probably charge us $50 an hour, and they'd probably charge us $150 to even get here. So it's really nice to have my dad that knows how to do that stuff, and it's really nice for me to learn this stuff. That way I don't ever have to call those people. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna fix these inlets. On these inlets, these cables break, and every so often they snap, and you just gotta replace them. So what these inlets do is when we're not getting air from outside using our curtains, the air comes from the attic through these inlets and then pushed out and exhausted using our fans. So here we have our curtain machine. There's 3 curtain machines per 1200 side. One controls the natural curtains, one controls the tunnel curtain, and one controls the inlets. And this is the tunnel curtain one that we're gonna grease up. Pretty much there's 2 zerks you have to hit. One right here. This can stay open for me. One right there. There's one under here that you gotta hit. And then we need to do a long line of grease up this shaft. And it's very important to keep this shaft greased up because if it's dry, it becomes dry. This brass bushing right here will get stripped out, and then the motor will just run, and none of the curtain will get pulled up. So we do this about 3 times a year just to make sure it stays greased up, because like I talked about earlier, it's very, very important these stay greased up and they don't shit out on us, because if they do, the air is the most important thing when it comes to pigs, and if they can't breathe and those curtains don't open up or close when we need them to, it can mean the pig's lives. So that's why it's very important we grease these up. So we got one down and we got 2 more to go, and I'm probably not going to shoot it just because it's pretty repetitive and you kind of get the gist of it. So I just got home from working and I just realized I forgot to shoot an outro. If you guys like this video at all, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out, pushes my content further for more farmers and people like you to see it. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video, and hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I post. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.